It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it's great to have you in the studio with us today. Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Skurja with us. The phone number is 1-800-932-3232. Website is yavapaisw.com. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, holidays are here.
They are.
We've been talking about it.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Boom, 2018.
It's gone fast.
It has gone fast.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you first question for you. How was things for Silent Witness in 2017?
You know, unfortunately, they were probably a little bit slower, less arrests than in years past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so bad that we're looking for a new idea or anything like that.
Right.
But calls have been down a little bit. I think so far, today's what's today, the 22nd or so. Mm-hmm. I think we've taken about 30 calls so far this month, which isn't bad, but we haven't made any arrests this month.
Okay, but still 30 calls.
Yeah,
that's pretty. I think there's silent witnesses out there that probably don't get any calls a month.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Right,
yeah.
right. So I would say Yavapai Silent Witness. When did we start this? You and I. You started it, and I came over. We had lunch together, a bunch of us.
Oh,
you were getting all of us partners together.
33 years ago.
Not that long ago for
yeah.
me. Well, nevertheless.
Well, what Catch-22?
Catch-22 is when we all got together.
Yeah, and we started that in 1997.
That's when I got really involved with you, and we started doing a lot more stuff about Silent Witness, and that's why I don't have to look at the number, 1-800-932-3232, because it's ingrained in my brain.
There you go.
And I think it's ingrained in a lot of people that watch and listen as well, because it's just out there.
It is.
But we haven't done anything with you, I'd say probably in a month and a half, 2 months maybe.
Yeah, it's been kind of slow.
So that's how that stuff kind of slips through the cracks. So this year, you have had some stuff, though, and every now and again you send me a press release to say, hey, Paul, heads up, so-and-so got caught.
Exactly.
And I think the last thing we had from you, I want to say there was a Catch-22 guy captured, but not from tips to Silent Witness, not even from Arizona. He wasn't in Arizona at the time, but he was caught. So.
Yeah. And, people wonder about, we have tipsters that call in and say, I know that such and such was arrested. I called in on him or her, and where do I get my reward? And, of course, I look up the case immediately and say, well, unfortunately, the arrest wasn't due to your tip. And they said, well, he was arrested 2 days after I called. How's that work? And so many times what happens is, the suspect will be mobile, driving down the road. He's speeding. He gets pulled over by the highway patrol in another state. They run him, as always, and he comes back wanted out of Arizona. He's arrested, and now that tip is no longer necessary or valid with Silent Witness because the arrest didn't have anything to do with the caller's information. So, unfortunately, they don't get a reward, but our bad guys off the street. So it's a kind of a win-win.
You hear about that too, the pursuits. Like pursuits used to be something that they didn't call off, but I've heard that over the years now too, where law enforcement officers say, well, we'll pick him up somewhere down the road. He's bound to do something else.
Yeah, rather than put the community in jeopardy or danger with a high pursuit chase, they just back off and pick him up later. Of course, they probably get a license plate number. They got a make and a color of a car. So now they know where to go and pick him up, and they also know that he's in the area.
Odds are he'll do something again, or she'll do something again.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this a little bit. With it being Silent Witness, and people hear the word anonymous anymore, and I think they're skeptical of that. And I try to have you talk about this every time. Can we talk about that real quick?
Absolutely.
Real quick, how Silent Witness works and how anonymous really is anonymous with Yavapai Silent Witness.
Okay, we do not have caller ID. We do not ask the tipsters for their names. If they want to give us their name, we'll take it, but we don't ask for it. And that's that. When they call in, we give them a number, and it's a 5-digit number. That becomes their ID number or their identifier, whatever you want to call it. That's their code to the program. So they call in, they give us the information, we give them the 5 code number, okay, or the 5-digit number. And then we ask them to call back if they have updated, if they want to give us updated information, if they want to find out what's going on with the case, where the progress of the investigation lies, and that sort of thing. So all they have to do is they call the 1-800 number back, identify themselves by that 5-digit number, and then we go to the computer, pull up the information to find out where the case is in the investigation. Okay? If there's been an arrest made, then we're going to offer them, if there's been an arrest made due to their information, then we're going to offer them a cash reward. In order to get that reward, they have to have that 5-digit number. And unfortunately, a lot of times people call and say, well, you know, it was me that called, but I don't have that number. If you don't have that number, I can't help you. Because anybody could call and say that. So as long as they have that number and there's been an arrest made due to their tip, then we're going to offer them a cash reward. And when a time comes to pay their reward, we're going to send them to a bank somewhere in Yavapai County. And we trade off with banks all the time. So that's a foolproof program as well, okay, or process. So what happens is we're going to call the bank, and we're going to ask the bank, can we make a payoff tomorrow at 1 o'clock? And they say, yes, you can. So then we get the name of somebody at the bank who our tipster is going to meet. And then they go in at 1 o'clock, they take the tipster behind closed doors, say, what is your ID number? And at that point, they have to identify themselves by that ID number, that 5-digit number. And as long as that number matches the information that I gave them, they give an envelope with cash in it, and away they go.
Sweet. Easy
Now,
peasy, huh?
somebody's going to say, and they have, and they do it all the time, well, I don't want to go in the bank because they're going to recognize me, or, you know, maybe I trade at that bank. Well, we'll get another bank because we want to make it as easy as possible for the tipster. Now, if the tipster says, you know, I just don't feel good about doing this, then I'm going to suggest that they allow somebody to do it for them. A spouse, a parent, a good friend, a trusted friend.
Give them the number and let them go do it.
Exactly, if they want to do it that way. The problem is doing it that way is now that trusted friend, spouse, parent knows that you are an informant for Yavapai Silent Witness. So what do you want to do?
Right, right.
So that's how it works, and it's foolproof. It's the way every silent witness program in Arizona, every Crime Stopper program across the country and throughout the nation works. That's how everybody pays their rewards.
Give us an update on what Silent Witness has done since its inception in the county.
Okay.
Recap that, because we got about a minute before we take a break.
I just happen to have that information.
Well, yeah, I'm a mind reader. Go ahead, give me the numbers.
Over the years, we've cleared 7 homicides. Now, these are tips that are called into Yavapai Silent Witness that were worked by investigators, and not necessarily in Yavapai County, but who went out, did the investigation, and made an arrest. Okay, we've cleared 7 homicides, 2 human trafficking cases. We've arrested 1,640 felons. We've recovered over $2 million worth of stolen property, seized over $15 million worth of drugs, and we have paid over $500,000 in cash rewards.
And that's in the 33 years.
Yeah.
That's the 33 years. Wow, that's impressive.
Silent
Witness works.
So.
It really does.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised because, you know, coming into it, I was like, we'll see how this goes. But I remember the first Catch-22 we did. We've got one of those coming up again very soon.
December 1st.
It was a boomer. That first one was a really big one. I remember that clearly.
Unfortunately, the reason it was so big is because there were a lot of people living in their homes where they had lived during the commission of that crime and had been living there forever. So when you guys started advertising for us, the neighbor said, oh, well, that's Bill. He lives next door. I'm going to call in. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we didn't do our homework in the beginning. We should have had officers from throughout the Yavapai County go out and knock on doors to make sure those people weren't still living at those addresses, which is what we do now. But the first time, or the first round, I believe we may have arrested 12 out of the 22.
Well, it was good, and that's we have to take a break, but that's kind of typical how things work. You know, you learn from that, and then and then you grow and you grow and grow. Yep. Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Skurja is in studio today. Phone number 1-800-932-3232. Website is yavapaisw.com. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to Countywide. Great to have you on board. Steve Skurja from Yavapai Silent Witness in studio today. Their phone number is 1-800-932-3232. YavapaiSW.com is the website. We're going to go through some of these silent witness posters.
Good.
All right. We
Okay.
got the big one hanging next to us here. But these cases are cases that we've actually had come up numerous times over the years. This one here, though, the second one is new this year. But let's go ahead and go with the one that we've talked about ever since I've known you.
Yes.
Kathy Sposito.
Kathy Sposito was murdered in the Prescott area on Thumb Butte. And everybody in this area is probably familiar with Thumb Butte. This goes all the way back to 1987. And Kathy was a very avid bicyclist, mountain biker, hiker, jogger, this sort of thing. And on that particular morning, she was accosted while going up the trail on Thumb Butte. And somebody brutally murdered her. Again, this goes all the way back to 1987, and we've had just a ton of calls over the years, but unfortunately no arrests. Mm-hmm. And this case is worth $10,000, and we offer that up to anybody that has information that'll lead to the arrest of the suspect, and we just pray that someday this case will be closed or completed. The sad part about it is her parents are getting older, and I believe it was her mother that recently passed away, and her dreams were always to see this case cleared, and we've talked to her numerous times, and she was, you know, just devastated right up to the end, and now her father's elderly, and
families want closure.
Sad case, yes.
You know, something like that. Families
Absolutely.
want closure. This one came up this year. Keely Culver. She was listed as missing. I recall this one just a few months ago.
She was missing out of the Baghdad area, and we wouldn't normally offer a reward on a missing person, but now the fact that she has been missing so long, mm-hmm. and from the investigation, we feel that she is probably deceased. And it was probably connected to a homicide. Okay. And so that's why there's a reward. We have never received a call on this. She has family out of state, and they haven't heard from her. Her friends in the Baghdad area haven't seen her or heard from her since a particular day about a year or so back. And so we fear that she's been murdered.
Okay. All right. Keely Culver. This one's interesting. We had this one a while back. It's got more to do than just the animal heads.
Yeah, this was a burglary in Chino Valley, and a lot of people have asked me about the fact that we've advertised a reward for the animal head recoveries, and the reason we have those heads on there is they were taken in the burglary, but there was a lot of high-end Western art taken, and we don't have photographs of the artwork. So we put the pictures of the heads up. Now the antelope head, from what I understand, is a record book antelope. So we were hoping that somebody, you know, we have a lot of hunters in the area, but hunters don't steal that kind of stuff.
Right.
They have a lot more scruples than to steal something, and they're not going to hang it on their wall if they did.
I would want to get my own.
Exactly.
This is one
exactly.
You don't want to steal it and put it on the wall. It's just,
so I'm sure that these two heads are probably hanging on a wall back east in some rich man's office or something. There is a black market for this kind of stuff out there.
Okay.
I doubt very much if those heads are around there. But again, you know, if somebody sees this broadcast and recognizes that head from maybe their buddy just recently put it up on the wall,
right.
Give us a call.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, we had some fires in Kirkland. Looks like Thursday, August 25th of 2011.
Yeah, these
Saturday,
go
August
back.
27th, 2011. Saturday, August 27th.
These go all the way back to 2011. Those are all residential fires. They're all arson. Major devastation. One of them was a ranch house. Been there forever, and there were a lot of valuables in that house that went up in flames. A gun collection. There was a collector car in the garage that belonged to the rancher. Matter of fact, I think it was an old pickup truck that he had redone that had been in his family forever, and it burned in the fire. Again, we've never had one call on those arsons.
Okay.
But so all these cases are still open, and there are a lot of other cases that are out there that are still open.
All this information and those cases are posted on your website.
They are.
Correct? YavaPaiSW.com. So if you go there, you can get more in depth and actually study the pictures and get the information and really look it over. This is just kind of a punch list of stuff going on right now. The other one that we had this year that you keep bringing back to me, and we keep running it over and over again, is there's this ranch, middle of nowhere. Somebody shows up, vandalizes, steals a pickup truck, takes off in the pickup truck, wrecks a bunch of gates, causes thousands of dollars in damage. Dugas. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
The ranch is off Dugas Road.
Off Dugas Road.
And what happened was is somebody came onto that ranch headquarters sometime during the night. And what we're assuming is they came in probably from the rough, rugged backside and end up at the ranch headquarters. And as they're leaving, they come across a locked gate, and they can't get out. So rather than destroy their truck and getting out and damaging the gates, they go back to the headquarters, get a ranch pickup, and then they crash the gate. Well, down the road a little ways, they come to another locked gate. And when it's all said and done, they've completely destroyed 7 very high-end gates. We've got a pool of oil at the second or third gate, and the investigators see the oil and immediately assume that the truck has run out of oil and it's probably burned up somewhere in the area, so they search that area. Never find it. They just find this stream of oil in a puddle, and that truck goes unfound till just recently. And recently what happened was the FBI was working a case, and they were sitting on a house in Tuba City watching a suspect house. They didn't want to take the suspect off at the house because there's a lot of family members and kids, so they're going to wait for the suspect to leave. Well, eventually the suspect comes out, gets in a truck, and drives away. They give chase. The truck ends up crashing into the FBI vehicles and this sort of thing, and the suspect gets away and has been on the run since that crash.
Wow, but that's the truck.
That's the truck. The FBI get out, they start looking at the truck, they run a license plate check on it, and lo and behold, it comes back stolen from the ranch in Dugas a couple months prior to this.
So we're just going to find that guy again. We got to take a break.
So, okay.
Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Skurja in studio today. The phone number is 1-800-932-3232. Website is yavapaisw.com. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber. You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a few minutes left of the program. Again, the website is yavapaisw.com. You can go there and find out everything we've talked about so far today about Yavapai Silent Witness. The phone number is 1-800-932-3232. You're going to be hearing that a lot. Before we jump into Catch-22, which is coming up starting December 1st, there is a $10,000 cash reward being offered for information that leads to the suspect in the Dugas Ranch.
Exactly.
What do you call it? Auto theft and vandalism.
And vandalism.
Criminal
yeah.
damage.
Criminal damage.
Felony criminal damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of tools and things in that truck, so there's theft, burglary. There are a lot of outstanding charges.
Okay.
But again, a $10,000 reward on that case. So anybody have any information on how that pickup truck got to Tuba City, please call us.
Great. Okay. Now, Catch-22. That's coming up.
It is.
It's a guaranteed story every day for 22 days for me.
There you go.
I like that. I like that a lot, but it is. And years ago, you decided that we're going to do it in December because sometimes family members know where these people are, and they're like raising their kids or whatnot and saying, you know, I could use a little extra cash.
Exactly.
And so tell us a little bit about the Catch-22 coming up.
Well, we've been doing it, like we said earlier, since I think 1997 or so. To date, we have arrested 83 high-profile felons from Catch-22, and we've paid $41,500 in cash rewards to those successful tipsters. We're going to offer a high-profile felon every day from December 1st through December 22nd. Each day there will be a new one. Every one of them is worth at least a $500 reward. The neat thing about this is you call me in the morning with the whereabouts of the suspect. We arrest him by noon. I'll have $500 for you by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't have to wait for board meetings or anything else. It's a surefire deal. Again, there's 22 high-profile felons, and you're going to see some repeats. But at the same time, those are high-profile felons. We've got murders, rapists, child molesters, white-collar crimes, a lot of bad guys there that we need to get off the street.
Right, right. They'll all be posted on the website as well, yavapaisw.com. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
You too. Thanks very much for all your help.
Just like that, we got them all taken care of. Just like that. All right, that's today's show. Thank you for watching and listening. Yavapai Silent Witness Director Steve Skurja. Number again is 1-800-932-3232, yavapaisw.com. We'll talk to you again next time.